Hi Stitchers, it's me Laurel, and I'm here to do my April WIP update. And I have some progress and a couple of other little things that I put in here for the interest of other Stitchers that have posted about various things on their March WIP updates and into their April videos. So we'll talk about a couple of other things. There's a blast from the stitching past coming up in here, so pay attention, Nordley. So first, my stash diet. Still stash dieting, no purchases. It's getting to be really hard though. Floss Tube is not helping. The Shadowlane website, not helping. European Cross Stitch, not helping. Stash Unload, not helping. Even on Cross Stitch and Discuss and Cross Stitch and I'm Not Ashamed of It, there's people posting all their beautiful fabrics and all their pretty charts and all their wonderful things that they've bought, and here's Laurel going, I want that and I can't buy it, and how pretty, and oh, that looks like fun, and yeah, no. So here I am, 4 months into the year, and still no purchases. So I'll be alright. I'll make it, but y'all don't make it easy to do. So there's that. WIP updates. I have a couple of WIP updates and sort of a, it's not really a breakup. There were a lot of breakups in the March and April videos. It seemed like everybody was breaking up with projects, and I'm kind of sort of joining that ranks there, but we'll talk about that. So in fact, we'll start with that one, and that is this one here. Get that off of there. Legends of the Dragons. See, here's, this is hard to see. Pull this a little bit here. See, here's my progress on Legends of the Dragons, and you can see I've made some progress on the bottom of the border there. It stops right about. I'm still having trouble keeping this straight, which way goes where. It stops right about here, but I have a problem, and so I've stopped stitching on it. And the problem is, when I started looking at the pattern, and looking at the fabric, and looking at the pattern, I was thinking, I'm not sure that's all going to fit on there. So I looked at the stitch count, and I did the math, and I measured my fabric, and sure enough, my fabric is 18 inches wide. This is a 15 by 18 piece of Charles Craft Monaco. And Legends of the Dragon is 15 inches and a little more, 15 inches and some change wide. Well, I started 3 inches in from the edge. So clearly 15 plus 3 is 18. And since my design is more than 15 inches long, I just plain don't have enough fabric to complete the design here. So it's kind of on hold. I'm thinking maybe that I'll square up the corners and make a box and maybe put a quote in it. I found an Irish blessing. Maybe that I'll put that in there and frame it as a little, saying, rather than just tossing it or, UFOing it or whatever. At least I can make something useful and pretty out of it. Because it's still a pretty border. It's gold, not work, and it's still a pretty border. But as far as Legends of the Dragons, I'm going to have to start over. And I will, but it's not going to be anytime soon or now. I have lots of WIPs left, so it's going to be a while. It's going to go down the list of ways. So that's my sort of, not really a breakup because I still want to stitch it, but I'm kind of on a break. And I keep thinking there must be a Ross and Rachel joke in there somewhere. So if you have a Ross and Rachel joke, please feel free to post it. Thanks. So my next WIP is Trade Winds, and I'm working on the mermaid panel here. Here's the whole thing. There's the whole thing. You can see I showed this last month. I've done all the borders. So, and here's my progress on the mermaid panel. You can see I've done her skin, I've done her face and her arm and her belly. I've done most of her hair, or mostly finished her hair. I've done some more of the water around her, behind her. I'm starting on the water that's going across her belly and like between her belly and her tail. So I'm making progress on her. I hope, since school is ending in a couple of weeks here, I'm hoping to have more time to stitch on her. I'd like to finish this project this year, but it's not looking very good. So we'll see on that. And then my last WIP update is Strawberry Fields Forever. And if you remember last time I showed this, I had just barely started it. And I had done this first chimney right here, and I had done a little tiny bit of the roof. I had just barely started it. And you see I finished the house and the grass, and I've put in the bricks for the border, and the bricks for the wall, and I'm filling in the bricks and the post on the wall. So I hope to continue on this and finish it soon. Maybe I'll finish it in May. It's my work project, so it's not getting a whole lot of time at the moment, because I've been leaving it at work and working on Trade Winds at home. So it's only getting that, 20-30 minutes that I have to stitch at lunch. And so that's my WIP update. The next thing I wanted to talk about is for the benefit of Mackenzie at the Lovely Array. She showed in her last update, she showed her schoolgirl sampler, which she was completely obsessed with. And on the schoolgirl sampler, there's a little charm of a hornbook. And in her video, she was talking about she didn't really understand what hornbooks were for, and she didn't know what they were used for. Well, I actually have one here. You can buy them. There's designs that come with hornbooks, and they have a stitched insert, and you can buy them. And this is one of them. This is by Ellen Chester of With My Needle, and I'll show you the designs here. She's got two designs. She's got this one here. I have trouble with this. I still don't get it. But this one here is stitched over one, and you can see it's got more detail. And then this one here is stitched over two, for people whose over 1 days are behind them. So she's got two options there, and it's called the Quaker Hornbook. I believe that this chart is only available to groups, like if you're in a guild and the guild is doing it. I don't think that you can just go on withmyneedle.com and buy it for yourself. I think you have to be in a group. But I'm sure if you Google, there are other hornbook patterns. And let me open this, and I'll show you the hornbook. this is the hornbook, and you can see it's kind of in the shape of a paddle, and it's got holes on each side, and what it actually is, it's a thread holder, and so the schoolgirls would use it to keep their threads in, and then, as you know, while they stitched on their samplers. And it's got a little hole at the bottom down here where you could thread a cord through it. So you could either wear it as a necklace, you know, you put the cord around your neck and you could, you know, wear your threads like this. Or a website that I was looking at, it might have been Ellen Chester's website, but some website that was talking about hornbooks was saying that they would wear them on their waists. And I'm not really sure how they would do that. Like, would they thread it through their belt loop? Or I'm not really sure how you would wear it on your waist. I sort of imagine that in 2015, you would stitch the insert and mount it to the center of the hornbook here, and that you would use the hole to mount it on the wall and use it as a decoration. I mean, I suppose you could use it as a thread holder, but I'm thinking that most people use it as a decoration on the wall to display their stitching in. So that's a hornbook, and there's that. Now, Nordlee, in her one of her videos recently, had discovered Terrence Nolan, and so I decided to talk about this because a lot of people on FlossTube have only been stitching for a few years. There's a lot of people who have been stitching for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years. And since Terrence Nolan, I think, has been out of the stitching world he disappeared probably a good 10 years ago. And his designs are kind of difficult to find. I think you can find them on eBay. You can probably find them like in different destashing groups on Facebook. But if you go to 123 Stitch, if you go to any of the needlework shops, they don't have hardly any of his designs anymore. They're all out of print, and it's really the stitching community's loss that he's disappeared, because he was a wonderful designer. Very, very nice man. I got to meet him once, I think in 2002 probably. Very, very nice man, and his boyfriend is very, very nice as well. So it's a very talented designer, and it's our loss that he's not around anymore. But I have some of his stuff, and for the benefit of Nordlee and for some of you who would like a little bit of stitching history here, I'm going to show you some of his stuff. He had some very unique things, and very kind of, yeah, they were unique. They're kind of, what's the word that I'm looking for here? They're kind of particular to him. Like, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but this is a freebie, and I'm going to show it. I'm going to be showing you the chart, but if you can pause the chart and do anything with it, then more power to you. I mean, pause the video and do anything with this, more power to you. This is the Orchid Be, and this is a freebie from 2000. And I don't have a color picture of it. This is just the chart. But there's a bee, and it's got several colors of Kreinik in here. Everything he does has a ton of metallic in it. Kreinik, beads, blending filament, tons and tons of stuff. It's all very sparkly. So there's that. He had, I'm pretty sure he had more than one of these, but when the Chinese characters became very popular, he did some designs with Chinese characters, and this is one he did called To Embroider. Let me try to get closer here. It's called To Embroider, and it says needle, thread, and embroider. So, and this one too has, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different colors of Kreinik, and it has beads, and it has silks, So I'm sure this is very sparkly. I have not stitched this one. Nordlee in her video talked about she had gotten a hold of his design, The Bride and the Shroom, and he has which is a mushroom couple getting married, and he has another mushroom design that I had mentioned to her in that video called, or on the comments in that video, called the Mushroom Tabernacle Choir. So here that is, and it's just a bunch of mushrooms singing in a choir, and it's really cute. My hesitation about this one is back in the day when this was in print, and people were actually stitching on it. I heard more than one comment that it wasn't very engaging to stitch, that it was kind of, people were kind of, they couldn't get into it, it was kind of boring. So that's kind of off-putting. This one here is one of my favorites, is St. Basil's Cathedral in, I believe it's in St. Petersburg, Russia. So there's that. Terry also did a series of egg designs, and he has a design of St. Basil's that's in an egg called Enchantment of Winter. So he has 2 of those. I'm going to show you a couple of the egg designs. Here, I'll show you this one here. This one is called, here's one of the eggs. It's called Remembrance, and it's got a red ribbon in it for AIDS awareness, no doubt. He's got another egg that I think Nordlee may have called For Amelia, that has a butterfly in it. And then he's got the egg that has St. Basil's Cathedral in it called Enchantment of Winter. And then he has, I think he's got some other egg designs, but I can't remember what they are at the moment. He's got a couple of Santas here. I think he's probably got more than these 2. He might have 3 or 4. But this is a Santa, part 1. And it's kind of a Father Winter kind of look to him, with the browns and the golds. And then here's part 2, which is the more traditional red and white Santa that we think of. And I'm thinking there may be more. I don't know. And then at the turn of the century, when in the year 2000, he released what may be his most popular design, but it's also a limited edition, and it's very difficult to get these days, I believe. You can probably find it in stash and load groups, or you can trade for it. You can find it, but it's limited, and it's kind of difficult to come by. It's called the Pac Nouveau, and it's another egg design. It's the egg with the fireworks and the gargoyles holding up the egg, and the little topper on the top. So very, very popular design, and it was in large demand. I think there is still quite a bit of demand for it because it's hard to come by. So there's that. And this one is all stitched in black silk and in Krynic. And this one is, I sort of think that this one may be his, you know, a lot of designers have like a signature piece and a masterpiece. Like if you're talking about Teresa Wensler, her signature piece would be the castle that has the castle and the dragon, and her masterpiece would be Peacock Tapestry. I think that this one here may arguably be Terry Nolan's masterpiece. And this was done in 2002, and it was done in honor of September 11th. and it's the New York City skyline, and it is gigantic. It is 25.9 inches by 13.2 inches on 32 count linen. It is gigantic. And it's also got a long list of metallics here. And I've seen a few people who started it. I haven't seen anybody who's finished it. But there's that. And then I'm saving this for last. This is another piece that he did in honor of September 11th. And this is United. And this is when I met Terry. He signed it for me. And the reason I say that for last is because here it is. I've actually stitched this piece. Here's my stitched piece, and I pulled this out I think in December when I did my ornament video, and I was very disappointed to see that a lot of the beads have discolored. Let me get a little closer here and I'll show you. You can see that some of the beads are bright gold and some of the beads have discolored to a brown. And I'm very disappointed in that. I don't know what caused that. It's been in a box, so I don't know if it's the friction of the beads rubbing against each other or what happened, but I was very disappointed to find out that they've discolored like that. So this piece, I love this piece, but in typical Terry fashion, his model stitcher is a woman named, well, her online name is Bitsy Be, and her name that she publishes under is Bitsy Be. She was his model stitcher. I hope she's okay. She used to be a member of one of the stitching boards I belong to, and we don't know what's happened to her. She's disappeared, and the people that were local to her say they haven't heard from her. I hope she's okay. But I was complaining when I stitched this. These little corner elements here. There's one. These little corner elements are braid and floss together. That was fun to stitch, no? And I remember complaining about it, and Bitsy said that, he's more concerned about getting the colors right, and he's not really that concerned about the mechanics of getting the floss into the fabric, so he's using like number 32 braid or number 8 braid on 32 count fabric, and it's just, he's not really that concerned about how easy it is to stitch. He's more concerned about the look. So some of the combinations are they're very difficult to work with. I did not enjoy that part of it. But other than the discolored beads, I love the finished design. So that's the little history lesson on Terrence Nolan. It is the stitching community's loss that he's not around anymore, because he was a fabulous designer and a really nice man. So that's all for me, and I will see you next time. Bye.